Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I'm Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, rumors are swirling that time of the year. T-minus until draft day. How we doing?
Doing fantastic. Draft sickos, how are we doing? This is Metcalf. I've always loved doing the pod with you, but I think this might be the most excited I've been for a podcast episode. I'm pumped out of my mind for this one. And yes, smoke is filling the air and it is quickly getting thick. So everyone be patient, calm. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, breaking news. The Philadelphia 76ers are entertaining every option possible. Happy for them.
But it's funny, right? I love those reports because I'm like, breaking news, they're doing their job. But I understand we're trying to get excited. We're trying to talk about stuff. I know what the media outlets are doing too. But yeah, it's a fun time of the year. And I feel like it's weird. You know, I feel like I've asked around and everyone's kind of like, there's some wild stuff out there, but it's also quiet, which is just like, oh gosh, we're really getting some anarchy going. So it's going to be a fun one.
Oh, well, we got a chock full episode, but shout out to Michael in the chat here with the super chat.
Michael, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Any clue who the Pels might take?
I think maybe a guard that played in the SEC would be a name I'd keep an eye on.
I like the idea of a Mr. Jeremiah Fears a lot.
Yeah, that's the name I think that's been connected there. But, you know, I will tell everyone this. Like, that's the one I've heard. But
I mean, we've also
we've got a lot of
and we've
got a long time to go. So, like, teams might be zeroing in on, like, hey, this is who we're targeting. But it's like they might want to get him in for a final workout. We've seen how teams really love a guy and then they bring him in for that final workout. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden it just can get crazy. But that's the name I've heard there.
Yeah. So I like that fit too. I think that'd be a really fun one.
Love the fit.
And love the player. But all right, so we got a chock full episode, enough pleasantries. What we're doing today is a War Room mock draft. I'm acting as Rucker's assistant GM. He is the GM. I am bringing to him all of the work that our scouting department has compiled on these guys throughout the year. I'm presenting him with 2, maybe 3 options in some cases of guys that he's going to have to choose between, and maybe there are trades that pop up as well that he'll have to make a decision on. This is 100% what he would do. This is not predictive. This isn't what I would do. This is what Rucker would do. And I'm presenting him with options. So if you hate it, yell at him. You can find him on Twitter at Tyler_Rucker.
Bring me all the heat. No, I'm pumped for this one, Metcalf, because I think it's a little bit unique, little different. It's going to be fun because we get to kind of talk about team needs and you know, all that good fun stuff. But I love this. You brought this idea to me and I was like, this is a great idea. We should do this.
Yeah. And I, you know, credit where it's due. I don't know if other podcasts or whatever have done this, but I'm freely admitting I'm stealing this from Mina Kimes, who did like 6 or 7 of these leading up to the NFL draft, and Mina is way smarter than me, so why not steal from someone who's smarter than me? I love the premise and thought it would be really, really fun to do on here, and we'll do another version next week where we flip roles. But any other questions?
No, I think it's a fantastic concept. When you sent me that during the draft season grind for the NFL, I was like, oh, let me listen to this. And then I was like, oh, this is awesome. We should roll with this and have some fun. So yeah, as you said, like if anyone's ever done it out there, credit to you. I haven't heard it. So I feel like this is going to be a new fun wrinkle and probably get a little weird, but I also feel like this might make us think a little bit different and kind of like, okay, like now we got a couple weeks to be open-minded about what's going on here.
All right. Should we just dive in, get going?
Yeah, let's get weird. Let's have some fun here. Make some memories.
Currently on the clock, Dallas Mavericks, first overall pick. Rucker, I'm coming to you. Obviously, it's Cooper Flagg. Our scouting department he's the best player on the board, highest upside. We are recommending him 1,000%. If you're like, oh man, but he doesn't really feel a need, you know, is there more upside with Dylan Harper? Kyrie's out for a bunch of this year with the knee injury. He can fit in, play alongside Kyrie once he comes back. We get it. He's on the board as well here. But before you sprint to the podium, we do have a trade coming in.
Oh, okay, great.
The Milwaukee Bucks are on the phone. Giannis hasn't made this public yet, but he has talked to their front office. He's asked for a trade, and he wants it done on draft night. If it's not, then he's staying in Milwaukee. So the Bucks are offering Giannis for Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Max Christie, the number 1 pick, the 2029 Lakers first round unprotected, and the 2031 Dallas first round unprotected.
29 unprotected
from the Lakers.
From the Lakers, and 31
from Dallas unprotected. And if any of these, I came up with all these trade proposals using Fanspo's trade machine. Shout out Fanspo. So if you have an issue with it, tough.
Yeah. So here's where we like. I love Giannis. We probably be getting
defense wins championships. You've proven that you're willing to make a big swing.
If we want to potentially win a ring right away, he would give us a serious force. If AD can stay healthy and we feel good about, like, hey, it happened, but maybe we can get lucky and try to keep him healthy. Having those two together and then getting the late rush of Kyrie, very exciting. We're gonna have to look at our salary cap because obviously we're trying to send out a lot of pieces to match that.
The cap
number.
Works.
Yeah, the cap works. Okay, so my bigger question would be, what is our roster looking like around him? We're not going to have Kyrie for pretty much the whole year. Do we have any depth? What options would we have?
I'm just receiving the phone call. That's
okay. You know what? I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Everyone's gonna be shocked about the Giannis thing, but I'm more worried about our teams. This is gonna create some long-term flexibility, and we've got a future now. Obviously, we've got AD, we've got Kyrie, but now we get an 18-year-old. Our cap would be a tough thing to deal with if we brought on Giannis. That's a very large number, even if we're matching contracts. It doesn't give us a lot of flexibility. So we're getting a cheaper player at 18 years old that I think is a franchise building block, and I still think the upside is tremendous. So we're going to say no to that.
Okay, and you're running to the podium for Cooper
Flag? Yeah, we're very comfortable with Flag, so we're going to take Cooper Flag and franchise is back. We're back, Dallas. Let's go.
Okay. Number 2, San Antonio Spurs now on the clock. Dylan Harper is on the board. We know that. We like Dylan a lot. The fit is clunky though. With the questionable shooting for him, we think it's a little more encouraging than some of the other guys on the roster right now, but it's not a sure thing. Fit might be a little clunky with him, Fox, Castle. Does that spacing work? Is there too much overlap, too much redundancy? We do think he's the best player on the board right now. But the other name we're bringing to the table right now is Trey Johnson with his dynamic off-ball shot making. He can play off of Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Victor, obviously. So those would be the 2 names that we're putting in front of you.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've all been kind of eye to eye about, Dylan's probably the best player remaining. We're very happy. I'm very happy about us being at 2. I thought it was a chance for us to be like, hey, let's get the next tier drop of players. Trey's an intriguing talent that would really help our shooting, our floor spacing, something we desperately need to kind of kick this offense. And we think Trey and Castle could be perfect together. Also Fox, we're still happy of. But I think the size, the positional versatility, I like the idea of having Harper. I think they could all play together. So
hold that thought. Yeah. Phone's ringing.
Oh, here we go.
John Horst is being really pushy right now. So he's offering Giannis for Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Steph Castle, the number 2 pick, and the 2029 first round unprotected.
So 2 picks, Barnes, Vassell, Castle. Miss anyone?
Nope.
Tell him we don't want Castle in the trade.
Okay. He countered with, instead of Castle, it's Jeremy Sohan and the 2031 first round pick. So that also has swap rights with Sacramento.
3 picks.
Vassell and Barnes.
The 31 is a swap with Sac.
Yeah, so it'd be the Spurs first rounder, or you have swap rights with Sacramento.
That might be one of the most valuable picks of all time at this rate. Vassell, Barnes, 3 picks, a swap with Sack and 31 and Sohan.
Vassell, Barnes, Sohan, the number 2 pick, 2029 on first round unprotected, 2031 first round. Oh,
I'm going to say no there too.
Oh, okay. Seemed a little closer.
It's juicy, but that is a lot of capital for us. And you know, I'll go off bar here. I get any team fan base wanting to get Giannis. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. You don't have to tell me, but it's also taking in 50+ million a year. So,
yeah, he's also the 3rd best player in the world.
100%. So yeah, right now I'm saying no.
Okay,
we're happy with Harper. Let's do this.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, moving on to the.
I can't believe I just said no to 2 Giannis trades. Woo! All right, here we go. Would you have done that? Sidebar. Would you have done that? That's a juicy one. Right now, I'm like, whoa. I don't know. Maybe
I think I would have, especially for the Sohan.
Screw it. Call him back.
Nope. No, it's gone. Pick's been
okay,
pick submitted.
I'm staying with it. That one would make me think of it.
Yeah, were you surprised I had the counter prepared?
I'm trying to figure out why
the castle one.
Horse is sober right there in the counter. Yeah, the counter was good. 3 picks is a lot. That's swap with Sacks a big, but
yeah, I thought that pick was when I saw the details on that. I'm like, oh, that's intriguing.
Yeah, we're off the rails now because I'm in my head. All right. Anyways, we're moving forward.
All right. No trades coming in for this one, weirdly enough, even though they're rumored to be trading everyone and everywhere. But the Philadelphia 76ers on the board at 3. The 2 names that we are proposing, dynamic shot-making forward with a bunch of defensive upside, Ace Bailey, and then just a glue guy, incredible intangibles, one of the best athletes in this draft, VJ Edgecombe. We're happy either way. We think both fit into the culture, needs, upside, talent, depth, all that stuff. So call is yours.
Yeah, you know, I've been watching the finals, and a lot of teams both teams have a lot of depth in the backcourt. So I think I'm more intrigued with VJ here than I know some might question the fit, but we need to build this roster out. We were thin last year. Injuries obviously crushed us, but we need some depth in case that happens again. On the other hand, I really do buy into the upside, and the hope is that we're not picking this high again next year. The hope is that everyone's healthy, we bounce back, and we have a good season. And if that's the case, I'd like to swing a little bit and get someone that I think has star upside. So I think I'm going to go Ace Bailey here.
Okay. Ace Bailey, welcome to Philly.
And I also think Ace has the perfect mentality for this city.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
You'll never know.
All right, at 4, the Charlotte Hornets on the clock. We're still confident in building around LaMelo. Great positional size, one of the most creative shot makers, playmakers in the league. Still love Brandon Miller. Mark Williams is there. But we're going the 2 guys we're throwing up here who we think can really play off of those foundational pieces in LaMelo and Brandon are Trey Johnson and Con Knipple.
I think those are 2 exciting options. I'd like us to get some more firepower alongside Brandon Miller. So I think both present a really good fit for us. It's just kind of, the scouting department feels equal about both, or is there kind of a split decision in the room, or what?
Yeah, I mean, there are some dissenters who are leaning towards VJ and refusing to change their vote. But it's like 40% Trey, 40% Con, and then the few remaining holdouts on VJ.
Good. I'm having fun here because we're doing math. It's great. You know what? I think this is gonna work. I want some scary upside. I want some firepower. I want to swing for the fences. I'm gonna go Trey Johnson.
All right.
I think him and Brandon Miller together, if it works, is going to give us a lethal combination on the perimeter. I like Khan a lot, but I think Trey's got some tools to untap, and I like the mentality alongside Brandon Miller. I think they're going to work well together.
Okay. Moving on to the Utah Jazz at the 5th overall pick. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, all off the board. We're looking at 2 potential franchise-changing guards. Jeremiah Fears, VJ Edgecombe, 2 very different players, but we love the upside with both of them. Especially Fears' ability to run an offense, the playmaking, the rim pressure. He's still super young. We're buying into the upside and the physical development with him. And once his body catches up to how quickly he processes the game and improvises on ball and attacks the rim and draws fouls, we think his scoring versatility and on-ball creation is going to be so much more dynamic. And VJ's the upside is incredible with him. We know the defense and athleticism is going to be awesome. We're buying into the spot up shooting, and in more of an off-ball role, we think he can be a really good complement to Keontae and Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen down the road.
Like both of these guys, thought they were 2 of the best interviews we had coming through. So I in a weird way, I don't feel like there's a wrong direction here. I know what our roster looks like. We're adding a lot of guys. I know we got Collier last year that we're kind of excited about, but I still do think we need a answer at the point guard position long term. This would be a tough one because I really do like VJ and his tools, but I think we're going to go point guard here. We're going to go Jeremiah Fears.
Oh, okay.
I'm having so much fun. This is so much chaos, and I love it.
And again, for everyone tuning in just now, this is what Rucker would do. This is not predictive. This is not representative of the entire No Ceilings group. This is just what Rucker would do in these situations. All right. So at number 6, the Washington Wizards are on the board. Cooper Flagg went 1, Dylan Harper 2, Ace Bailey 3, Trey Johnson 4, Jeremiah Fears 5. The Wizards are on the board. We obviously took a bunch of big time swings last year. We're just looking to add talent, looking for upside. So the 2 names that I'm going to throw out are VJ Edgecombe for all the reasons previously cited, and Yegor Demon for that ability to add some positional size at the point guard spot. He can play alongside Bub. He can initiate the offense when Bub's out there or when he's on the bench. We love the playmaking upside and immediate impact with him, along with the scoring versatility down the road at 6'9" point guard. We're really excited about that. But we know we just need to add a ton of talent to this team. Brooklyn also just called, and they're offering pick number 8 and 26 to move up to 6. So Washington would move back to 8, get 26 as well, and then Brooklyn would be taking this pick.
Tell him I said no.
Okay.
We love Bub. We traded away Denny to get that pick last year. We were ecstatic when Bub fell right into our laps. We think Bub could be the floor general of the future with size. We're very excited about kind of what we're building. We've got a great pick later on in a good spot. We think we're getting another asset, but at this pick right now, I think my personal dream. I don't know how you guys feel, but my personal dream, I had this guy 3 on our board, on my personal board. We need some nastiness alongside Bub. So I want VJ Edgecombe. That would be I'm doing backflips the moment that he gets past Utah. So we're going to add VJ to the mix, and we think his nastiness with Sar kind of behind him, and then all of a sudden you have him and Bub together, Kaishan George. We're building something. We got some mentality that we want.
Yeah, we're really excited about throwing his athleticism, length, defense into the mix alongside Koulibaly on the wing.
Yep.
Sar backing both of them up. We think that trio could wreak a lot of havoc down the road. So all aboard. All right. At number 7, the New Orleans Pelicans.
Pass. I'm kidding, Pelicans fan.
Okay.
I love you.
So Obviously, DeJounte Murray's hurt.
Right.
Whole bunch of stuff going on with Zion. Just whatever happens there happens. We're not really factoring him in at this moment. Trey Murphy made a huge jump. Herb Jones, love him. Yves Missy, really promising rookie year. We're excited about him. We personally don't think that we need to immediately address the center position right now. We need some more depth there, but doing that at 7 feels really rich for us right now. So instead, we're looking to continue to add positional size, which is what we've always kind of gone for. And so we're looking at Yegor Demon to come in at that point guard spot, or continue to add to that two-way wing versatility and athleticism with Carter Bryant on the wing. But we also just got a call from Atlanta offering 13 and 22 to move up to 7.
13 and 22 for 7. All right, I got to look at the board here.
And sorry to throw a third name into the mix here, but Con Knippel also has a lot of fans in the scouting department.
Okay. All right. So if we drop back, we're probably looking at, we're hoping that we could get someone on the board that we're still excited about. Is that kind of the run we'd be targeting, some bigs or guards?
Yeah, so I mean, if we're looking at 13, in that range, we think there's some really intriguing forward options, like a Colin Murray Boyles potentially. Maybe Carter Bryant slips there. Otherwise, some older immediate impact wings like a Cedric Howard, Nick Clifford, some versatile bigs, and Derek Queen, Danny Wolf. And then in the 20s, we think there are some upperclassmen with a lot of talent who might fall.
I'm intrigued with the offer, but my problem is if we drop back that far, I think that also could have teams come up ahead of us and maybe get some guys that we're targeting. And I really like these guys on the board, so I want to stick. Okay. I like the options here. I want to get one of these guys. I wouldn't sleep well tonight if we missed out on one of these guys. Look, I get our roster. I know we had a tough year. We had a nightmare year when it came to injuries and everything. But I also know the makeup of this roster when it comes to the perimeter defense and the versatility we have. I think we need something on the other side of the ball. I think we need a boost. And I feel really good about this guy with the weapons we have around him on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's going to be a huge addition. So I want Con Knippel. We had him higher on our board. I had him high up there too on my wish list. I think we're going to be very ecstatic with the ability to raise our floor with his feel for the game and floor spacing. And I think Trey with Herb kind of next to Con, we can kind of shield any defensive concerns we might have. But we also feel good about the defense. He's a smart player.
Okay. Moving on to number 8, the Brooklyn Nets now on the board. Tough. We tried to move up, get our guy. Wizards weren't having it. 2 names we're going to throw out. We're looking at pure upside here. We're kind of in that range. We really liked how the team overperformed this last year. Loved what the coaching staff brought to the table, and we think they're going to be able to develop these guys in a really fun way. Yegor Demon, we're looking at 2 different positions and archetypes here. Positional size, creative playmaking in Yegor Demon, and then looking for that defensive building block, defensive general, rim protecting monster, massive human being in Kaman Malawach.
We got a lot of work to do. We've been working hard. The scouting department I know has been putting in overtime because this is probably one of the biggest drafts we'll have. We've got 4 picks. I feel good about all the ranges to kind of target some different ones, but I feel like we need to get some building blocks. I like that. I think we either need a point guard or a center to kind of start the whole process. With all respect to our roster, I'd be intrigued with the playmaking size of Yegor. I really would be. I buy the shot, but it's one of those things where I think I feel better about starting in the paint. And let's get this high upside big man with a lot of raw tools, but plays hard, could be a great, rim running big. And I think the floor is a lot higher. And we can be patient. We also need to be in next year's class too. So we need to get these guys some reps and develop them, but also keep an eye on next year's class. So let's go with Malawach here.
Okay. Toronto Raptors on the board at 9. We have a type. We like athletic wings and with a lot of upside.
The whole league knows it too.
But we also desperately need shooting. So the two names that we're really excited about here, different ends of the spectrum in terms of age, but we think both have a ton of upside going forward. We're looking at Carter Bryant and Cedric Howard.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both. I think both would fit really well with what we need on the perimeter. Cedric, I know, is a little older, but I still think he's a late bloomer and interviewed great with us and could really shoot it. There's some good tools, some defense that we can unlock. Carter's been a fantastic interview for us, and I really like the upside. I think that we could have a gold mine there. So it's a tough decision, but I think let's go with Carter Bryant. The age, the upside, and I was impressed with how last year he kind of figured out a way to make an impact without heavy minutes and touches. So I like the defense. I like the tools. I think he's going to be something special for us to build around.
Okay. At 10, the Houston Rockets. We had an incredible year. Clear identity. Love the development of guys like Amen Thompson, turning into just a defensive dynamo. Alperen Sengun looking like an all-star. Steven Adams was really important in the playoffs, but he's getting up there in age, and we need someone who can kind of continue to add to that front court depth all year. We think someone like Derek Queen provides a ton of playmaking upside. We do buy the shot long-term eventually, but the rebounding, the rim pressure, the playmaking is stylistically kind of similar to Sengun. So there's not too much of a difference there when they rotate, and maybe eventually if one of them really takes a jump in shooting, we can get some really creative and weird minutes with them together. So we're looking at Derek Queen or Cedric Howard, because God, we need shooting, and he might be the best shooter in this class.
Yeah, look, I think we're very excited about having this pick with how our roster is right now. This is a golden ticket for us. We have the chance to add someone that could really help us make a push for years to come. But I'm watching these playoffs and especially the finals, I'm trying to figure out like who can we get that could actually try to get on the floor and help us in this rotation? Who can be an asset here? Now, I'm not trying to draft for need, but I'm trying to find someone that I think could raise the floor and ceiling of this team quickly, with tools to still untap and just the type of character and personality we want on this team. So I want a shooter. Let's get Cedric Howard in here. Feel really good about his potential to kind of help out and in an area that we do need some help. We've got the defense, we've got the athleticism, and we've got some fantastic playmakers, but we need some size on the perimeter that can get hot. And we like Cedric Howard.
Love it. Okay. So Trailblazers on the board. This second that pick was submitted, the Minnesota Timberwolves called, offering 17 and 31 for 11. If you don't like that, we're also looking at Danny Wolf and Derek Queen. And Noah Senge. Excuse me.
Okay, so Derek Queen, top of our board is Derek Queen, Noah, and Danny Wolf.
Correct, in no order.
What a trio. And then the offer we just got from Minnesota is 17 and 31.
Correct. Pondering.
I like our roster a lot. We need to make some moves because we're getting a little jammed, but I do like our roster. The problem is I don't love how the board's fallen for us. I think we would have loved to have Carter Bryant or Coward maybe on the board. Tell them we'll accept it.
Okay, so Timberwolves moving up to 11. Trailblazers taking 17 and 31. 1 second. Let me move some stuff around.
I like the options. I like the options at 17 a little bit better for where our team's at right now, and I think right there would be a little rich. So we're getting an extra pick, second round. Maybe we're making some trades in the next coming weeks. Let's get another asset, and maybe we could trade that second round pick, top of the draft. In the second day, we can take some calls tonight and get some future assets.
All right, so Timberwolves now at 11. We need ball handling, and that showed out a lot in these playoffs where every time the Thunder blitzed them, turnovers galore. So we're looking at Yegor Demin and Kasparas Yakashonis. And then a potential flyer on Colin Murray-Boyles as well.
You know, I'd be intrigued to add some defense to this mix because we're building something nasty on the defensive side of the ball. We know what Ant's going to do. We've got the big man, the Frenchman down there, Rudy Gobert, doing his thing, but I would be intrigued with Murray-Boyles here. I think he would be a fun one, but I do agree with you. We still are very high on Rob. We traded a lot to get him last year, but you can never have too many guards. We need some depth. So I think we had I had a guy I wanted to trade up for that I think I'm shocked he's still a little bit available. We're going to take Kasparas.
Okay.
And we are officially off the rails, folks.
All righty. At pick number 12, the Chicago Bulls. Who? Should I just give you the entire board?
That's what I've heard.
All right, so we're really intrigued with three names here.
Okay.
All mostly front court guys. Colin Murray-Boyles, Derek Queen, Noah Senge.
You know, I think Queen would be really intriguing here.
One of the interns was also really pushing for Yegor, but we sent him out to get coffee. So,
oh yeah, okay. Make sure. Tell him to give me an espresso. You know, I would be intrigued with Queen here. Still being on the board, he's been one of our top names to be excited about. This is a tough one because I do think we need some toughness. We need some nastiness defensively. We need to build an identity for this team, and especially in our front court. So I think we're going to take Colin Murray-Boyles.
Okay.
Took Malawach and Murray-Boyles in my lottery. Look at me turning a leaf.
All right, at 13, the Atlanta Hawks, who are heartbroken. They couldn't move up for Kaman Malawach. Oh boy. Okay, so
it's getting ugly.
Now I know you're going to think this is wild. Great way to start a sales pitch here.
Yeah, I love anytime I get that from my scouting department when we're on the clock is a great thing.
But we're not sure that if we wait until, he might be there at 22, but we're not totally confident. We're looking at three guys here, and they're all bigs. We really like how our wings and guards defended for the most part this last year, and like the upside there. But we know Clint is probably gone in free agency, so we're looking at Thomas Sorber, Derek Queen, and Johan Berenger.
Okay. I'd be intrigued with Sorber here. But I have questions with Queen because I'm trying to figure out, are we going to play him at the 5? Is he going to be a 4? Is he going to be a rotation guy? I think this roster's coming together a little quicker. And we're starting to build kind of the starting 5 when everyone's healthy. Now, I'd like to get some depth with some upside that we can be patient with and develop some confidence. We've got this pick. We've got 22. So we can't afford to swing on a player here that we might, like you said, might not be able to get him later because that's a long time for us to wait. So I think we're going to chase a little upside here, and I want to go with Johan Berenger. I
Ooh.
really like the tools. I think he can start out and be a rim running rotation guy, and then only been playing basketball for about 3 years. Plays really, really hard. Great defensive potential.
Mhm.
So I think if we're patient, we could really find our center for the future.
I'm really fascinated to see. He's one of the guys I'm most fascinated to see where he goes on draft night because
I don't think this is a crazy one. I think this.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I think this might happen.
Okay. San Antonio Spurs back on the clock at 14 at number 2. We shot down the Giannis trade and we took Dylan Harper. So we're currently looking at Noah Senge and Danny Wolf.
Okay.
But the Phoenix Suns also just called.
Yeah, of course they did. Tell them I'm so happy to hear from them.
And they're offering Kevin Durant for Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and 14.
Kevin bought a house last week, so tell him we'll accept. Every Spurs fan that was yelling at me at pick 2, that's why. All right, good. So Phoenix now is on the clock.
Okay, so Phoenix, oh boy. Okay,
this is actually fun because I have no idea.
I have no clue. Okay.
And we're getting weird.
We're getting very weird. Okay, so we're looking at 3 names.
Okay.
Yegor Demon, Danny Wolf, Derek Queen.
I love when you only give me 3 names, but it really just goes, oh man. Look like a psycho if people hear the results because I'm like, I'm looking at other names too.
Hey, that's what our scouting department came up with.
I hired you guys for a reason, so I'm trusting you. Yegor, Derek Queen, and Danny Wolf.
Yep.
Okay. It's a tough one because we just traded Kevin Durant. So people are going to tie this player in. But there's a reason why we felt comfortable with this trade and why we wanted this pick is because we thought there was a possibility of getting some good value here. We need some potential. We need some upside. We need someone that we really feel like, hey, we can be patient with. And if it hits, we might have a piece to work with. I think I love the upside here. I think this is great value. This is where we would be ecstatic with this trade. I want Yegor Demon.
Okay.
Let's get some size. We're not trading Devin Booker. He's going to retire a son, but let's get him some size and a playmaker next to him with great upside, and we like that.
Okay. To recap the lottery, Mavs took Cooper Flagg at 1, Spurs Dylan Harper at 2, Ace Bailey to Philly at 3, Trey Johnson to Charlotte at 4, Jeremiah Fierce to Utah at 5, VJ Edgecombe to Washington at 6, Con Knippel to New Orleans at 7, Kaman Malawach to the Nets at 8, Carter Bryant to Toronto at 9, Cedric Coward to Houston at 10, Kaspers Yakashonis to the Timberwolves at 11. They traded 17 and 31 and swapped with Portland there. At 12, Colin Murray-Boyles to the Bulls, 13, Johan Berenger to the Hawks, and the Suns got number 14 in the Kevin Durant trade and took Yegor Demon. Any thoughts on the lottery? Likes, dislikes, surprises?
I like the top 8. I think those are the names in some order, or that's what people think too. It's going to be those names, but I like the Fears one. I think Fears are Trey. It's fun when you give me like, hey, these are the ones because I'm like, oh, okay. One that I wasn't thinking isn't a contender, so it's just fun. And then the Portland one, it was kind of a weird one because I was like, I don't know, maybe, but I also do think that 31 that's a valuable pick now. Mm-hmm. People got to realize with this new format with the draft, that's a very valuable pick. Like you will get calls all day, like you'll get calls all night. Like, hey, we want to come up to the top to get a guy that's still on board. So, yeah, it got a little fun with the T-Wolves going up. What do you think? I want your professor reaction.
I like that you threw a little wrench in it with Behringer at 13. I
Yeah,
was
why not?
I was curious if I could get you to bite on that one.
I liked the Sorber swing there too, but I think Behringer there actually could. It makes sense. I just telling people it makes a lot of sense. And if you haven't watched a lot of them, like man, that defense is scary.
Yeah, it could be really 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 fun.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to only give you 2 or 3 options here,
Yeah.
so it's
Right.
not
Right.
like the entire board. So there are definitely some guys where it's like, oh, interesting, but
Mhm.
then it's like, oh well, I could have also nominated that guy and been very happy with that pick too. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, sidebar. My personal philosophy, whenever I have picks like that, and I'm just saying Atlanta for an example, is if your roster feels like, hey, we got some pieces. Okay, one's got to be a swing, and one's got to be. We're just trying to find some gold here. It doesn't have to be that order, but it just like I would swing on one of them. So if I loved Behringer, I'd be like, all right, Behringer. Sorry if the international crowd's going to come after me with the pronunciation. So I like that pick. I know it's a little like whoa, but I like it.
Alrighty,
It's get weird.
moving on to where are we at? 15 OKC.
Yes, I haven't read the comments, but I can already predict. I know who everyone's like. How is he still on the board? So I understand.
I have no idea who you're talking about,
Oh,
but
we'll see.
all right. So our core is established. We really like we're in the finals. We had one of the best regular seasons of all time. So we're looking at more long term, especially once some of these other guys have to start getting paid. We need some cheap talent. We're looking at Noah Senge and Asa Newell.
For OKC, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And Derek Queen. I'll throw him in there as well.
You know, I think Noah here would be a really smart play by us because we could be patient and look at our roster right now. Like we would have to. It's gonna be tough to get minutes. Like someone's really got to bring a wrinkle to this team as a rookie to get minutes here. And Noah would be a great long-term upside. We just did this with Topic with kind of him being banged up. We're going to have him in the mix next year, like a plus-size playmaker. So Noah would be kind of doubling down on that. But I am very intrigued with this little wrinkle. And I think we could sort of kind of, if you want to say, roll the dice a little bit here on trying to find a unique weapon for this team. So I want to get a big man. I want to get some royalty in OKC. Let's get Derek Queen off the board.
Alrighty, you can't get over that fit, can you?
I can't get over it. I also think everyone needs to wake up, and this could be one falling a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting draft night.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. Just what I've heard.
Yeah, and kind of depending who you talk to, some people adore him. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to work on something on the fly here.
That one would be really tough for me. Sidebar. That one would be really tough because I like all those options for them.
Yeah. I cannot get this trade to work. So the Magic are on the phone.
Okay.
They're up
on the
at
clock.
16, or excuse
They're
me.
on the clock, yeah.
Portland's on the phone.
Oh gosh, you're gonna do it.
Anthony Simons for.
Also, here, let me buy you some time. For everyone in the comments, if you're going to be the trade police, come on, let's have some fun here. Don't be like, hey, can they really trade that? Okay, fine. We were trying to do this as much as possible, as you guys can see. So we had a comment Metcalf that said, could the T-Wolves trade 31?
I believe Fanspo let me, I think.
Right,
so
yeah, Fanspo, yell at
why wouldn't they be able to trade 31?
I don't know. Yell at the good fans at Fanspo. Good people.
Okay.
We like them.
So Orlando is offering, or excuse me, Portland is offering Anthony Simons for 16 KCP, Anthony Black, Gary Harris. I was trying to make the money work on the fly. The money works. So if there's a different piece that you would like, we can be open to talks.
So Portland wants 16, Anthony Black, KCP, and who?
Gary Harris.
I want to do this, but I'm like, who's Portland getting rid of? You know what? I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
I still think Anthony's we're gonna keep holding on him. We believe in him. We really like him, and I think we could get, if that day ever comes, we're gonna get some more stuff that we'd be more intrigued for. So enticing offer, but no.
Okay. Well, for the Magic at 16, I could have made it a little more enticing.
It's a good one.
But there's only so much dead space that you can have. All right, so Magic at 16. We got real split scouting department right now.
Okay.
So, couple names that keep coming up: Danny Wolf, Liam McNeely, Rasheer Fleming.
Okay. I'm still ecstatic about getting Klingon last year. I think we're building a lot of depth on this roster, so I think
This is Orlando picking.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So Orlando, we're really pumped about. You had me messed up with the Portland offer.
Yeah.
Orlando's
on next.
Okay, so Orlando had the options here were McNeely, Wolf, and
Fleming.
You son of a gun. We need shooting. And I'm buying that this was just 1 year doesn't tell a story. I'm buying that this guy with our team is going to be a much better fit, and he had a great workout with us. So I'm going to take McNeely here. Get us some toughness. Get us some perimeter floor spacing.
How dare you? The nerve on you! Every time I bring up McNeely at this spot, you're like, too rich for me.
Let's go to the next pick. I'm sorry, Magic fans. I love you.
I still love
I get it. I still get it. I really do get it. I promise you I get it. If you buy in, I get it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I get it.
Okay. Portland at 17. We're really happy with some of the names who fell here, and we have that type: big, athletic, two-way versatility. 3 names we're looking at: Noah Senge, Asa Newell, Rasheer Fleming.
But I'm very excited. Let me start this again. I'm very excited. Last year we got Klingon. Still really pumped.
Just scroll back up to the script.
Sorry, guys. I'm pumped out of my mind here because we moved back to 17. We got an extra pick, and I still got the guy that I want. I want Senge. Let's get some upside. Let's get a guy that's one of the youngest in the class that has a lot of tools and raw upside or potential to unlock. And we don't need to rush him. We've got a lot of forwards and depth there, so we can be patient and, get him with our strength and conditioning coach and just install some confidence slowly. So I really like that pick. And I think moving back and we still got the guy that we wanted at 11 is fantastic.
Okay. Washington Wizards on the clock at 18. We took VJ Edgecombe at 6. So we got defensive guard, a couple different routes we could go, but the 3 names we're really looking at to really help bolster the front court depth and impact. Thomas Sorber, Rasheer Fleming, and then, you know what, we're just going to stick with those 2 names. We think we need some more size, upside, versatility in the front court. So that those would be the top 2 names we're looking at: Sorber and Fleming.
I'm still ecstatic about. Well, I talked about this earlier with you guys. I'm still ecstatic about last year's class, but I think this year we need to surround them with we need some bullies. We need some toughness. We need to kind of set the tone with this roster moving forward. I'm ecstatic right now with the fact that this guy's still on the board. Big fan of him, and I think he's going to be great with next to Sar. I want Thomas Sorber.
Okay.
We're going to get some toughness. We're going to get some size, some strength. I really think, he had that foot injury to end the year, but our medicals came back clear. And I think if he was working out this whole process, we wouldn't have had a chance to get him. So we're pumped about this. We had a heck of a day.
Back on the clock, the Brooklyn Nets at 19 earlier. We took that defensive cornerstone in Kaman Malawach. We think we need guard upside, specifically point guard, and shooting. So these two guys bring different things, but we were really intrigued with their upside. Nolan Traore and Jace Richardson.
We've had it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool having our scouting department kind of get some spotlight on our YouTube channel with the scout series. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone there. Everyone did really, it came together well. I thought that was pretty cool. But focusing on the pick, we spent a lot of time on this one. I think this was a guy we had pretty high on our board. We were hoping he was going to be here. Like Jace a lot. I think he'd be an intriguing piece, but we do need someone we talked about this earlier. Like, we need building blocks. We got the center that we think we can build with the gigantic interior presence. Now we need someone to give him the ball. And we like Traore. So we're going to go there. I like his playmaking. I think he can really do well with Malawach. So it's a good duo right there with some upside.
Okay. At 20, Miami Heat are on the clock. Phone is ringing. Brooklyn wants to jump back up. Okay. They're offering 26 and 27 for 20. Otherwise, we're looking at Nick Clifford or Rasheer Fleming.
$26 and 27. Miami goes back. What's Brooklyn coming up for? Sorry, I'm trying to look at my board. An enticing one because I feel like the Heat are in a different position than normal. No, you know what? No.
Okay.
Miami, we feel really good about the board right now, and that's kind of the range. If we drop down that far, we kind of think there's a little bit of a drop off.
You're thinking just go get our guy?
Yeah, we're gonna go get our guy. Right. We're getting a Heat culture guy. Someone that, we hit goal with Khalil Ware last year. We're really pumped about his upcoming season. We need to start getting some guys back in here that are just going to be Heat culture, because we're really big on that. I just realized I'm talking basically as Pat Riley now, right? I want Nick Clifford. He's everything I want in a prospect. He's older, but I think he's going to go to work and be ready to help us from day one. So let's get Nick Clifford.
Okay. At 21, the Utah Jazz, we took Jeremiah Fears at 5.
I can't believe I'm speaking Nick Clifford to the Heat in existence, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
All right, so we want a little more upside in the front court here. So we're looking at, oh man, this is tough. We got a lot of names on the board right now. We're looking, sorry, not upside.
I trusted you. I trusted you guys, to have me some options ready. What's going on here?
Oh, chill. Back the fuck up. Easy, Austin. You come in here for a week and you're goodness. All right, so we're looking at some front court versatility. We're looking at Danny Wolf, Maxime Reynaud, or Rasheer Fleming.
This is for Utah? Yeah.
Correct.
Reynaud, Rasheer Fleming, and Wolf?
Yep.
Our roster is an island of misfit toys right now. We've got a lot of guys. We're gonna have to make some moves. But we also need playmaking. We need some feel guys. We also we need guys that we think we're going to be building around for years to come. And I'm going to go with a big here that I think it could be a little bit of a unicorn for this rotation. And I think Will Hardy's going to have a blast with him. I'm going to take Danny Wolf.
Alrighty. Then the 2-man game with him and Fears would be
Really fun.
a lot of fun.
And I also just like
the
him with
2-man game
everyone
with him
there.
and Sexton and Collier and Filipowski and Kessler.
I feel like they've been trying to trade Sexton forever. So I know he's probably not been there forever, but it just feels like he's in rumors every single Twitter post.
Atlanta back on the board. Took the swing on Johan Behringer at 13. We're looking at someone who just had really, really encouraging measurements that came out today in Hugo Gonzalez.
Those were good measurements.
And Asa Newell.
It's a tough one because one guy I don't think we thought was going to be on the board still. And I'm intrigued still. I know we got Behringer. We're happy about that pick. We got a big man upside. But we think, I personally think that this guy could also be a piece alongside him. So we're going to go Asa Newell. We're gonna get the upside swing that we can be patient with, but we're also going to get someone that we think could kind of give us some versatility in the front court, and we've built the front court now for years to come. I don't think he's going to be on the board.
No.
I have to say this. I think like 4 picks. I was like, say Asa, and then
I brought him up multiple times.
No, you did for sure. It's just a couple times. I was like, just say Asa. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, for everyone in the comments, like Metcalf has names that he threw out McNeely for the Magic, and I was like, I like McNeely better than those options, but
I'm trying not to just go off my board. I'm trying to bounce around, and
it's good. It's tough.
Okay, 23 Indiana Pacers. We're looking at Rasheer Fleming and Maxime Moreno.
I think we're personally just pumped out of our mind that this guy's still on the board. We think that even if us in the finals right now, like we think he could be a player that next year when we're making a run, he could give us a boost in this rotation. We like the measurements. We like the tools. We like the ability of he knows his strengths, and these type of players usually have a pretty high floor and stay around in the league for a while. So I want to get Rasheer Fleming.
Okay. OKC Thunder back on the clock at 15. We went Derek Queen. We're still thinking upside. We have a very clear identity of athleticism, length, defense on the perimeter, and we want to continue to add to that so we can maintain that identity for years. We're looking at 2 guys who we can be a little patient with in Hugo Gonzalez.
I love how much we care. I love how much we care about this.
I'm going to give you 3 names. Hugo Gonzalez, okay. Drake Powell, Adu Thiero.
Me personally, speaking of Sam Presti, I had this guy much higher on my board. And I think this is exactly the type of player I want to keep these picks for, is the guys that we could just keep building depth and be patient and then reap the benefits when they're ready to hit the ground running. So we're going to take Hugo Gonzalez. We're very pumped about that.
Man, his measurements today were almost a 6'11" wingspan.
I think he's nice. Going to go earlier than we're ready for.
He is. Okay. 25, Orlando Magic at 16. We went Liam McNeely. We're still looking for upside shooting. 3 names immediately jump off our board. And these are our 3 favorite right now. Jace Richardson, Will Riley, Walter Clayton.
This was a name that I know you guys didn't bring to the table at 16, but I really was thinking about taking him there, which could have been a little early, but I was scared we were going to lose him. We do need some firepower in the backcourt. We need guys that can get buckets. We got Paulo and Franz, but we need guys that can consistently put the ball in the hoop. And we've seen this guy. He's in our state. We've seen him a lot. We like him a lot. We've been watching him since Iona. So we're going to take Walter Clayton Jr.
Okay. Brooklyn at 26 and 27. So previously took Kaman Malawach, got our point guard in Nolan Traore. What we're gonna throw out Will Riley.
I have names I want you to nominate, and if you don't nominate them, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Well, feel free to throw them in the chat.
No, I don't want to cheat. No, I'm not doing that. I get 2 picks here, so you got to give me like 4 names.
Well, at 26, we're looking.
Okay.
Let's stick with Will Riley and. Oh man, who the hell do you want me to take? And Noah Penda.
Gosh. Oh. Let me put my professional face back on. Okay, so we got our upside swing, we got our floor general, and now we could either try to get someone that really impacts the defense, or we could take another little bit of a swing with the offensive side of the ball. I think I want to go Will Riley here. Okay. I think we get the long-term upside, and I like his size. Wingspan was a little shorter than I wanted, but I do think there's some offensive stuff that really could be special if we're patient and can have our developmental team work with them. So let's go Will Riley there.
Okay. At 27, the Charlotte Hornets are calling, and they're offering 33 and 34 to move up to 27.
I'm going to say no.
Wow. Okay. So you want that guaranteed contract on the books?
Yeah. There's a couple names I really like here for us that.
Okay. Well, like who? and we'll see if the scouting department agrees.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked because I think I'm going to put my foot down here. Yeah, Jay's still on the board. I know he's a little undersized. We took Traore, but this is the type of winning player I think really helps the foundation, build some depth. And I'd like to get another high field guy on this roster. I think he's going to play for a long time, and it's just one of those guys that gives us a boost, really helps us. And we had a much higher, or I had a much higher on our board. So I think we got to take him.
Okay. Yeah, and he was higher on our board too. We just based on everything you've told us in these meetings is that you don't like small backcourts. So after you went with one and turned him down, at 19.
I like Jace. It's just our early picks, I'd rather go another direction. And now at this point, I'm like, this is too good a value. And this is where we like to get players that we think could play for a long time. Despite, what some of his questions, this is a guy that I think could easily be our 6th man with upside.
All righty. At 28, Boston Celtics.
Really annoyed I didn't get a Brad Stevens phone call to an earlier picks, but it would have been tough for me to say no. I would just be like, yeah, accept it. Accept it.
We're looking at Maxime Reynaud and Ryan Kalkbrenner. And more of an upside swing and Noah Penda.
Okay. My nightmare. A lot of people think we're going to go Kalkbrenner here. And I am intrigued. I like him. Good kid, defensive player of the year, 4 years in the Big East and once in high school. He'd really be a nice rotation piece. I still feel good. We're going to be able to bring Cornette back. So I'd like to get someone with some floor spacing in the front court. So I want to go Maxime Reynaud. I thought he might have gone before this, but I think he's going to be a good fit with us.
Alrighty. 29 Phoenix Suns. Oh boy.
Who took Yegor at 14?
At 14, they went Yegor. Pondering.
It gets ugly here, folks. This is the spot where it gets ugly. I rejected one of the trades because I was like, this gets ugly down here.
Charlotte's calling again, offering 33 and 34 for 29.
For Phoenix?
Yeah.
Tell them we accept it. We need to build depth like crazy. We need some pieces.
Alrighty.
Sorry, Suns fans listening to this. But I actually would love that trade for them.
So 29 Charlotte, we went Trey Johnson at 4. We're looking at a couple names here. Man, he doesn't make any sense on this roster, but
well, who do you guys like that doesn't make sense? Maybe let's see if I agree or not.
But Ben Suraf.
Might make
but
sense.
Then we're also looking at Adu Thiero and Yannick Conan Niederhauser, along with there are 1 or 2 fans for Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, I want to trade up for a little bit of toughness and athleticism here. I want to get someone that I know is just, even if we're struggling to pile up the wins this year, we're going to get consistent high motor play from him. So I want to do Thiero. Okay. I really like the tools. I know the shots got in question, but this guy just is a garbage man, a hustle player, and some of the best athleticism in this class. So I want to let's build this depth.
Okay. Then to finish off the first round, the Clippers, we're looking at Ben Suraf and Niederhauser. 2 incredibly different players, but
we really like Yannick.
Okay.
But I think we're shocked that Suraf's on the board still. Same. So we're gonna jump with the value and take Ben Suraf. We're shocked that he's still there. We love Niederhauser. We really spent a lot of time on him because we're like, hey, we need a big man depth behind Zubac, but sometimes the board just kind of screams at you. And I think Suraf was one name that we have way higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Really, really tough.
Yeah.
We're going to do this with you, GM mode, right?
Yeah, we'll do this next week.
Okay. Because I'm not going to nominate McNeely for Orlando.
See, a handful of those really threw me off, where it's like, all right, I'm going to throw this name out there. I know he's not going to go with it. And then you went with it, and it drove me crazy.
Well, well, who are the names that you were like, oh, he's not going to go for it? Because you nominated some names where I got to a point where I was like, the guy I would have taken here was not in the conversation.
Like who? Who are some of the biggest ones for you?
You gave me a couple that I was like, oh, I'm trying to go through. Give me the 15 through 30 again. For everyone listening, because I'll be able to tell you who it was.
So at 15, OKC, Derek Queen, then the Magic, McNeely. That one surprised me. Trailblazers with Noah, Wizards with Sorber, Nets, Traore, Miami, Neek, Jazz, Danny Wolf, Hawks, Asen Newell, Pacers, Rasheer Fleming, Thunder, Ugo, Magic, Walter Clayton, Nets, Will Riley, Nets, Jace Richardson, Celtics, Maxime Reno, Hornets, Adu Thiero, Clippers, Suraf.
OKC, you gave me Queen. Or no, you gave me those good ones. Orlando with McNeely threw me off because you gave me 2 bigs with them. And I was like, but I could either go. I was thinking in my head, like, I'd like Neek maybe, and then just go double dip crazy with the backcourt and get Clayton at 26 or 25. Did you nominate Fleming there? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I got some
really
mad people in the comments.
I think I went Sorber, Liam, and Fleming.
Wolf. You gave me Wolf, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think you gave me Danny because I was like, Danny with Orlando is throwing me off.
Michigan guys.
You threw me off on the
Wolf. Wagner, Spider-Man, man.
Well, it's just there. And it just gets tough too with like Brooklyn, like the Traore. I do think is a really good at 19 is probably a very good like value. I think I don't know if you said Suraf there. I'm sorry if I'm spacing. There was just a couple. I was like, oh,
Suraf fell a lot further than I intended to imagine, but there also a handful of picks in there where I didn't think it really made sense based on some of like the previous picks or roster construction and stuff. So
I thought you were going to say Jace at 16. I think I was set on like, oh, he's going to say Jace. And I was like, you know what? I'll go Jace here. Fine. If they love him, but
wanted to give you a different look.
Yeah. No, this was fun. This was great. I really,
You hated my trade offers.
No, the Miami one was really good. That's a really good one because I was like, Miami probably should do this, but then I was just kind of looking at my board and I was like, you drop down here, you could really miss out on some names.
Mhm.
Like it gets ugly when you get past 25, in my opinion.
Like,
So I was like,
if Neek was already gone, would you have been more intrigued?
yeah. Did I lose you? Amazing. Anyways, we'll get Metcalf back in a second. For everyone in the audience, a couple names that kind of slipped through there that I think everyone just be patient. That could happen. Could go downhill a little bit. There's some buzz. Some guys are falling a little, so it's going to be a little crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to see if Metcalf's going to come back. So this is awesome. Any questions in the chat? I'll try to help you guys out while we're waiting for Metcalf. Here he is. Unbelievable timing. Wow, you really threw me on there.
Well, StreamYard just crashed for me, so sorry about that.
Is it crashing for me for weeks, months? Where were we talking about?
I don't remember. Any other surprises, guys, that like you clearly have a first round grade on that either didn't go or didn't get nominated? Or
Rashir's the name that I still like a lot, but I think we need to be ready. I think that one's trending the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. And not anything bad. It's just I think people are cooling a little bit, and I think he could be on the board around 20. So I also just think this time of year, I'm like, okay, let me see if this is accurate in a week, because there's just so much smoke all over the place. But I don't know, Metcalf, because talking to you, like Ugo, I think is a wild card. I think there's a lot of wild cards that could go early. I think Saraf could still go top 20. I still think, but there's just going to be guys that slip through the cracks, and we're like, how are they still on the board? Portland, I like how this played out because it got to Portland. I was like, oh gosh, they'd be in trouble here.
Yeah,
like they'd be kind of be like, oh, what do we do here? The Portland trade you proposed me is the one I'm sitting here right now. Like I don't know if I would have rejected that actually, because I might have been like, hey, Anthony Black is a heck of a piece.
Oh, the Orlando one for Simons.
Yeah, and I like Simons a lot.
Yeah,
I just feel like. But the problem is like you're getting all those guys back. So it's like, well, who else are you moving? What are you doing? Right. So I don't know. What did you?
Yeah, and that one I wish I brainstormed a little more effectively.
No, it was fun on the fly. I mean, that's what happens in real life. They probably would have called it. Oh gosh, what do we do? It just kind of, I sat there and I was like, man, I probably maybe want to take that just because you're getting Anthony Black, but I don't know. I mean, it also just like, am I just doing this really for Simons for Anthony Black then? No disrespect to the vets in that trade, like, but is that just kind of a 1-for-1 for now? Yeah. And losing a pick?
No, they were,
and they would have gained a pick. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you have done it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I like Anthony Black a lot, but is he kind of redundant with Denny? And
it's a weird fit. It's like an exciting fit, but also kind of a strange one. And then I feel like I would have been like, I need more picks. And I think Orlando would be like, no. Like, okay, see ya. And I'm sure that's probably what's happening.
Yeah, like if I threw in like next year, like a future first or something, I'd be like, like top 10 protected or something.
Yeah, if you were giving me 7 or 6, whatever, you're giving me 16 and a future first and those guys, I'm probably like, okay, I might be in here. I might be in a 26 top 10 protected. Probably gets me going. What else did you think? Any surprises to you? I like hearing that you're like, well, really. You went with some names that I thought you weren't going to go with.
I was intrigued whether or not I'd get you to bite on Behringer. Murray Boyles at 12 kind of surprised me a little bit.
I don't know what I go that route. I actually thought, oh, you didn't nominate Asa there.
Oh, didn't I?
And I was like, damn. I was like, I would have gone Asa.
Okay.
So that one threw me off completely. I was like, okay, well now, because you gave me Sorber, CMB and Fleming, I think, or someone. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that might sound right.
And I was like, ooh, I don't know. But that Minnesota trading up was fun because I was like, let's do this. Let's get weird. Here, a hypothetical. If they really did trade up, would you have done the same or would you have taken somebody else?
And the board fell the same way?
Yeah.
I would.
Jaeger?
I would have been torn a lot between those two guys.
I don't know if I like the fit with Jaeger there. I really don't.
Man, but
I love Kasparov because I think he could kind of play off of Ant.
Yeah, like I think he fills that Alexander Walker role pretty quickly, and a little more surefire future point guard, given the size. But if they did make that move up, those would be the two names that I'd be really, really torn between.
Yeah. I think Brooklyn, now I'm looking back at it. This made me open my eyes a little bit to like, hey, what does the team need to do? And I think Brooklyn at 26 and 27, they got to go up.
Yeah.
They got to find a way to go up. You just see the drop off. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell the drop of like, oh gosh, okay, now you're really trying to find something. And a team like Brooklyn, I'd be like, we got to package 19 in one of those picks to get up more. Maybe it's packaging one of them to just get to 15-ish or 16. I don't know, but you need to get a little up there.
Yeah, but so I was trying to I tried that with a couple teams, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of the teams in that range already have multiple first anyway. So it's like, does OKC really want two more current first round picks? No. Does Orlando need 3 first round picks? No. Does Portland maybe? And I don't know. It just gets tricky in that range because then if you're trying to jump even further to maybe Houston, 19, 26, and 27 to get to 10, I'm not sure. If I'm Houston, I might just rather have 10. So
I completely agree with you because I look at some teams back there. I'm like, well, they need to go up. And I'm like, well, who the heck wants 2 more picks? Because it's just a lot of roster. And that's why the Miami one is a little intriguing, good, fun one. But it's like, Washington's up there, but they're probably like, hey, we don't want to drop far, that far back. Now, if you're going back, you need to sell some team on hey, come back and take a stash guy. But I don't really know if there is anyone that you want to stash late first. I think there's guys that you probably want over here. So it's a little bit of a tough one.
Yeah, and I could have gotten more in the weeds with future second round picks and stuff like that, but the entire second round's already been traded. So, all right, cool. This is fun. Hopefully it was an interesting listen. Excited to swap roles next week, but Rucker, anything else?
No, it is. This was a fun one. I'm excited for the roles to be switched because you'll see how kind of test your personal board more than I was expecting. I was like, oh man, that kind of threw me 3 guys that are 4 spots lower. So oh, okay. But yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of okay, this was fun. So I appreciate everyone in the comments. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
we got a lot of everyone's kind of passionate. I could tell. It was okay, it was a little tough. I would have taken some other names too. Don't shoot the messenger. But we're gonna have a fun 2 weeks. It's gonna get a little crazy. So everyone buckle up. There's a lot of buzz and a lot of wild stuff going around. So it's gonna be very fun.
Yeah, got a lot of really good stuff. We will be going live both days of the draft when that comes up. So keep an eye out for specifics regarding that. Draft guide is up still all the way up until draft. Feedback and support on it has been incredible. You guys are the best. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at Team Metcalf11. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time. See ya.